Okay, so I'm going to update everybody or the people viewing. I have added on top of the carpet in my room, in my so-called reptile room, I've added some all-purpose carpet in here just to make it a little better, so that they don't go poo-poo on the carpet, and I can clean it up easier. And plus, I take the larger Tegu and put him in the bathtub every morning, and he goes to poop in a little bit of water, and that really helps keep things clean. But I got some piddle pads down just in case, just to try to catch some random poop that gets laid down on the ground. And I have a pool that I used to put my dog used to lay in, but I brought it inside and I put the coconut bark husk in there, and they like to get in there and dig. And then there's a little black hide that they can go into right there. And then again, I have my closet enclosure right here where my little red Tegu sleeps at night. And even though they're sleeping in the big room now, but she typically goes in here and goes under this little piece of bark right here and sleeps at about after about 2 p.m. and goes to bed. I've got two of their UVB and UVA lights right there. I have the UVA light, the heat lamp, off just to conserve power when she is asleep. But she comes up her little ladder right there, and the big one comes in and out of here when they're bored, and then slides down this little styrofoam panel that I have, and then can go up and go in and out. And then I've got a little makeshift little area over there with cinder blocks with a heat lamp and another UVB light, and they're all over this whole entire room. And then here's the big one, Mac, my male Tegu, and he is about 29 inches long now. And I got to give him, he goes all over the room. And so everything I put up, he will go down the little ramp and up the ramp and go up the rock and go to the windowsill, yeah, I think I said that right. And then flop down either through the backside or down onto the rock, and then go up the wood, and then there's the water bowl, and then back to a little ramp with a cinder block, a flat portion of it that you can buy, and go back to his heat lamp and the UVB light Zoom Ed hood. So he is all over this room, and there he's up there trying to look and get into the boa cage, but he's climbs over everything, and so it gives him energy and keeps him keeps him more active, and then helps him to maintain his weight. But he's really trying to get in to the Boa Enclosure, and I don't know why he's doing that so intensively. But let's see, I'm going to put him back. But this guy, before I had all this stuff and I had him in a smaller enclosure, he would go to bed or call it a day, at about 11 a.m. We'll wake up at about 8 and zonk out at 11. Now, with all this room, he stays up from about 9:30 till about 5:30, and then zonks out. We'll go back either into the closet or and then I will put a pillow. I have an old pillow, just the internal part of the pillow, and I'll put that like right here into this area, and it takes up this area, and he'll go underneath it, and he'll just curl up in a ball or a spiral and go to sleep until 9:30 in the next morning. But he really takes advantage of the whole entire room. I'm really amazed that he is as active now as he is. He's only 7 months old, but now he climbs everything. As you can see, I mean, that's up to my, up past my knee height. There's a humidifier that I run to increase the humidity in here, and he is all over this room. And really likes to climb now more that he's getting a little older, and he'll climb up here somehow. I don't have my spray water bottle. He'll climb up there on that ledge, and that's up past my knee height, but he likes to look out the window and he'll knock all that stuff down. But there he is, and we'll see where he's going to next. Where you going, Mac? You got to be careful because he's not a super agile climber, and he can fall and injure himself or injure his tail. I mean, he walks around pretty good and manages pretty well. And I think that the addition of this little plastic pool that I've had for a couple of years, and then filling that up, you can put insects into the substrate, and he will spend hours digging in that substrate, looking both the male and the female. And then he loves to go behind. I pulled this item off the street. Someone was throwing it away in the neighborhood, and I was like, man, I just used that for something to do with the reptile, so I brought it in the house. And he loves to go behind it, on top of it, around it, and then I got a little log right in there that both of them get into and hang around and climb on. And just think it's important to offer things for them to do, and then to keep their mind busy and to stay physically fit and get some exercise. And so there's the Boa Enclosure. Similar video that I've always kind of shown, but I'm progressing and learning and growing as I have these reptiles longer. There's the little reptile pad under the terrarium that the boa will sit under, that little log that's flat right there, and he will hang out there. So he's taking advantage of that little heat pad. And there's the thermostat. So I know the light's not that great in here, but that's kind of where I'm at the point. Also too, with a little red Tegu, because she's quite a bit smaller. She's half the size of the male Tegu, which is about 28 inches long. So she, I don't know, maybe 15 inches long. She's still really, really small and does not like to be handled. And so she has access to this whole room as well. But she is 3.5 months old, and he is 7 months old, the larger one. So there is a gap in their age, but the black and white Tegu is completely different than the red Tegu. They're like they came from two different planets, and there's lots of things I can talk about. Completely different reptiles, the way they act and the way they grow and the way they shed and their nails, and I'll get more into that. I want to do a nail trimming little video, because I've been clipping nails, dog nails and bird nails, and their reptile nails for 30-40 years. And so you got to be really careful when you cut their nails. And so I've got some tips, and I've trimmed both of their nails, and the little red one nails are way more dagger-like than the black and white Tegu's nails. Even when at similar ages, their nail sharpness didn't even compare. The little red Tegu's nails are like syringes, where the larger Tegu is more like a knife edge, a knife tip. It's not nearly as piercing into the skin as the small Tegu. Even when they were at similar age, the nails were vastly different. And it's weird because they're almost identical except for the color. and they came from a little bit different area, but the same continent. So lots of things to talk about and interesting. And so that's it for today. My reptile so-called room is always evolving, and I'm learning a lot. But I also just wanted to share, and I'll make maybe a video on this, that the little smaller Tegu is not nearly as friendly as my larger black and white Tegu, and that goes for when they were a month old. So remember, I bought both of these as little bitty babies, only a couple weeks old. So I've experienced both of them growing up from just a little bitty baby, and so they're completely different on how they were when they were babies. The black and white Tegu didn't really care. Allowed me to pick him up, was easy to handle, and the red Tegu is a handful. Does not want to be held, would prefer to be on the ground, and looks at me and watches me and permits me into her space, but just does not like to be picked up. But so I have experimented. I took a road trip and I had to take them with me because I couldn't leave them for 3 days. I didn't want to leave them by themselves because I think that they could get into trouble pretty quickly just being left here for 3 days in their room. So I took them with me, and so I put them in a smaller container. And the red Tegu, the smaller female, became a little bit more manageable in the smaller container, like a 2.5 foot by 1.5 foot Tupperware container with a lid, foot tall container, and so. And I put the bark in there, the coconut husk, and a little hide, and she became so much easier to pick up and handle, and allowed me to handle her a little better without being so, full throttle, floppy doppy, scratching the crud out of me, and and then allowing me to pick her up. So I think that's very, very interesting. The black and white Tegu male never had a problem picking him up, and he appeared to, permit it, enjoy it, whatever he did. The red one is completely different. So, they may need to be raised different, and that's just the bottom line. So you having one or the other, or a black and white Tegu that has a different personality than mine, may need to be kept in a smaller cage. And I'll adapt more and grow more as she grows and he grows, and I'll maybe try to pass on what I've learned to new owners of Tegus. So other than that, video's long enough. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to say goodbye and check me out on another video.